Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to Palm Sunday. It's Palm Sunday. Today we're talking about the road that leads home. The road that leads home. And as we celebrate Easter this month, actually it's next week already. I know it's later this year, but it just seems like it came quickly. We are having an Easter moment each Sunday, or at least that's my goal, that we have an Easter moment each Sunday. And what is exactly an Easter moment? It's that moment when we consciously, intentionally, deliberately let something die that does not serve us so that we can rise into a heightened spiritual awareness, a new consciousness, and an expanded way of revealing the spiritual nature that is already ours so that we can share our gifts with the world. One more time, an Easter moment is that moment when we consciously, intentionally, deliberately let something die that does not serve us so that we can rise into a heightened spiritual awareness, a new consciousness, and an expanded way of revealing the spiritual nature that is already ours so that we can share our gifts with the world. And that is our metaphysical meaning beyond the physical, interpretation of Jesus' crucifixion and the resurrection, isn't it? This month, we are exploring having Easter moments in various areas of our lives, and each week we are engaging in a specific and sacred activity to support that moment. And since today is Palm Sunday, we will look at a simple and straightforward Easter moment that the Master Teacher Jesus gave to us on his way to Jerusalem. And then we're going to anchor it in our traditional rose blessing, hence the roses you see up here. Be thinking about which color you would like, because you will each receive one of those. What is the Easter moment that Jesus had before the big Easter moment, which we're going to take a look at next week? What was that big moment he had? Well, it is found in the Palm Sunday experience. It's found in his willingness to ride into Jerusalem knowing full well what was going to happen to his physical body. He was willing to ride into the city, even afraid. And we know that he was afraid because when he went to the Garden of Gethsemane, well, there are always these long words, Gethsemane, and prayed, "Lord, let this cup pass from me." So we knew that he really did not want to experience this. He had his disciples to go with him, and he asked them to stay awake with him, which really is a powerful metaphor, isn't it? But they just couldn't. They all fell asleep. It is sometimes, think about it. Sometimes it's easier for us to go unconscious, isn't it, than to face our fears. Don't you think? I think that's what they were talking about in that story, we fell asleep so that he wouldn't have to face that fear. But Jesus stayed awake to them, and despite his fears, he was grounded in the ultimate faith and trust in God. We know this because he said, "But if this cup cannot pass, and if I must drink it, then let it not be as I will, but as thou wilt." Who remembers that? We all remember that from the Easter story, right? Why could he do this? And why did he do this? Because he knew that he came here on this earth for a very important and special reason. Side note, so did each and every one of you. So did each and every one of you. Okay? Each and every one of you come here for an important and special reason. It wasn't just the Christ that came here with gifts to share. We all did. Remember what we explored last week. So Jesus came to teach us so many, many things, but perhaps the greatest of all was what? What was his greatest teaching? Love. Love. He set aside his personal fears and doubts for love. Love, the life force that is at the very root of our nature, but which we are often afraid to give. Our being requires love. We cannot exist without it. Yet we're afraid to let it in or out. Love is a central theme to all spiritual paths. Just take a look at a list of paraphrases from various spiritual belief systems. In Hinduism, one can best worship the Lord through love. Buddhism, let a man cultivate toward the whole world a heart of love. Confucianism. To love all men is the greatest benevolence. Sikhism. God will regenerate those in whose hands there is love. Judaism. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and thy neighbor as thyself. Christianity. God is love, and he that abideth in love abideth in God, and God abideth in him. And religious science. In arms, which are all inclusive, divine love encompasses everything. That's in The Science of Mind, page 430. And then unity. God is love, and to live in God mind, man must cultivate love until it becomes the keynote of his life. And so it is through love. First, love for ourselves and the gift of God that we are, and then love for humanity. It's that old, we have to take the oxygen mask first for ourselves before we share it with our child. First, love for ourselves, and then sharing that love with humanity. So let's do a little experiment. I want you to touch the arm of the person next to you and say, "You are so blessed."
You are so blessed. You are so blessed.
Okay, overachievers, overachievers. Okay, so that felt really good. That felt really good, didn't it? Didn't that feel good? It really does. It really does feel good to shower love on another, even in that simple way. It feels so good to do that. I love this note from the universe by Mike Dooley. He says, "Did you know that whenever you feel love, you literally begin to glow?" You probably did. But did you know that this glowing is actually made up of zillions of minute sparkles? And that these sparkles receive as much energy as they create. And that because of this energy exchange, you completely stop aging. You completely stop aging and look younger. Abundance is immediately drawn to you. Healing powers fill you. Muscles are strengthened. Pounds are shed. And your vision improves. Oh my God. Lingering questions are answered. New friends are summoned. Old friends are poked. Problems are solved. And maple syrup tastes more mapley. All when you feel love. All when you feel love. It's true. Signed, the universe. So now let's continue with our experiment and add something to what you just said, okay? So I want you to touch the arm of the person next to you and say, wait till I'm finished, "You are so blessed to be wait. You are so blessed to be sitting next to me."
Don't I know it?
Okay, now honestly, how did that feel? Honestly.
It feels really good.
You guys are so advanced already. Well, you are so blessed to be sitting next to me. It's just, if it didn't feel good when you said that, or if you noticed just a little shift or a little twinge, then maybe we didn't have that full Easter moment that we were working on last week. And that's okay, because you're going to get a chance to do it again today. Every time you decide to love yourself and another, you are changing the world. You are changing the world and changing everything about it. Every time you love, even in a very small way, what was it that Mother Teresa said? Do small things with great love. Every time you love, even in a small way, you nurture your world and cause it to be multiplied to come back to you. That is the fruit of Spirit. The fruit of the Spirit can come to your life. Do you want more love? You have to give more love wherever you are and allow its magic to come alive inside of you. It will. And with a God-centered assurance, you can claim these fruits as your own. In John 13:35, Jesus says, "By this everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." Singer-songwriter Ricky Byers-Beckwith, who is Michael Beckwith's wife, has a line in a song that is very powerful, and it's a reminder of the power of love. She says, "In the end, Love will have the final word. Love will have the final word. Today you can create a miracle of love's presence in your life. Just remember that in the end, love will have the final word. In a few minutes, we're going to have our rose blessing ceremony, which will anchor us in divine love. But before we do that, I want to invite you into this Easter moment experience. Close your eyes if you like, and just ask yourself, am I afraid to love? Am I fearful of fully stepping into love? Perhaps you've been hurt in the past in the name of love. Perhaps you've lost a love and are afraid to love again. Perhaps you didn't fully have an Easter moment last week and don't believe you deserve to have love in your life. Whatever it is, this morning I invite you to have an Easter moment around that. Right here in this room, let that fear die. Release it fully and completely. Breathe through it right now. Feel it leaving your heart, your mind, and your body. Hold your hands together, if you will, outer edge to outer edge, and cup them. So you're going to have a cup in front of you. And then place any and all fear you have around loving yourself, your deservability to be loved, any fear about being hurt by love in your cupped hands. And then throw them into the air, releasing all of the fear as you do. See it dissolve into the nothingness from which it came. I envision sparkling confetti flying in the air. That it just then dissipates and disappears. See this happening and feel your shoulders, your heart, and your mind lifted and lighter. Now move your awareness to your heart, into the heart of divine love. Right now, let's follow these profound words of Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore, which he wrote in Talks on Truth. He said, "The love of God must be felt in the heart. It cannot be described, and one who has not felt it can have no concept of it from the descriptions of others. But the more we talk about love, the stronger it grows in the consciousness. And if we persist in thinking loving thoughts and speaking loving words, we are sure to bring into our experience the feeling of that great love that is beyond description, the very love of God." So say silently to yourself, "I am the love of God." Now say it again silently to yourself, "I am the love of God." Now say it softly aloud, "I am the love of God." Now aloud with a bit more volume.
I am the love of God.
Again with more volume.
I am the love of God.
And again with more volume.
I am the love of God.
And now say with gusto,
I am the love of God.
"I freely give love.
I freely give love.
I freely receive love.
I freely receive love.
Today I come home to love."
Today I come home to love.
And so it is.
So it is.